All right, everyone. So good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have 190 and counting, almost 200 people on this Zoom right now. So thank you so much for coming. My name is Katie Russo, and I'm with Cascadia College. So I'll have the ability to speak with some of you in a little bit. But I am here to provide the welcome and just a general presentation about worker retraining. We are so excited and thankful for you to be here today to talk about worker retraining funding, workforce funding, employment security department. I know we have information about basic food support at the colleges and things like that. So just thank you. A couple of housekeeping things, and I've mentioned this for those that have been here for a little while. Thank you for listening to the same repeated things a couple of times, but you can go ahead and ask questions in the chat or the question and answer function. My wonderful colleagues at the other colleges will be sure to answer those. It's important to keep your personal information out of those forums. So your name is obviously totally fine, but social security number, claimant ID number, address, email address, definitely keep those private. We'd want everyone's information to stay safe during today's event. Because of the type of Zoom that we're in right now, no one's cameras are on. So yeah, that's totally fine. And we hope that makes everyone feel comfortable. You know, that having a camera on can be, there's a lot of pressure with that and things like that. So we hope that makes everyone feel a lot more comfortable. Additionally, today's event is pretty free flowing. We'll go over the agenda in just a slide or two. But if you need to get up and go to the bathroom or handle things at home, we understand that people do have pressures at home. We won't know. Spoiler alert. We won't know because your cameras are off. And so we just want everyone to feel comfortable. And then also, yeah, we hope that you get good information from today's event. We have a lot of great partners that are here. And then if you don't get the information that you need, be sure to reach out or talk further with a college representative, and hopefully they'll be able to connect you to the information that you need. So we'll go over the agenda, like I said, right now. So 1 to 110, welcome, agenda, and general housekeeping. According to my clock, it's 1:05, so we're on schedule. So we're already off to a great start, everyone. And then in just a few slides, I'll be giving a worker retraining program presentation. That's going to be really general about worker retraining. It's going to be really great because if you are able to go to one of the college rooms, you'll hear about what worker retraining looks like at that school. And I think that's really important to note with the worker retraining funding is that the information that I'll provide is more general. And then each college worker retraining does look different at that college. So that's important to really remember. It's not going to look drastically different, but it's important to also gain that college specific information as well. We'll then have a 5-minute break. And in that time, you'll hopefully have the ability to go into the college room that you first selected. You'll be with that first college or that first resource for half an hour, and you'll be given a presentation, or each college could run their room differently. They could have a presentation. They could just start speaking. It is important that if you do bounce around, just know that you could be coming in the middle of a presentation. So just be understanding that there is more of a set time. So if you do kind of do some switching around, please don't be surprised if you come in mid conversation or mid presentation. After that, we'll take another break. That's a great time to stretch, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. And then you'll go ahead and go into your second room from 2:05 to 2:30. From there, you can come back into this main room. I don't believe we'll have any closing remarks, or once your second college or resource is done, you are free to kind of sign off for the day from this event. So we just want to once again thank everyone. It seems like the chat is really going great. The Q&A, people are typing in there as well. So feel free to keep going in that. And yeah. So someone asked about this earlier. So the colleges that are here today are Bellevue College, Cascadia College, Edmonds College, Everett Community College, Lake Washington Institute of Technology, North Seattle College, Renton Technical College, and Shoreline Community College, excuse me. We also have information, and I believe they're representatives from Shoreline Community College. Gosh, sorry, everyone. About the Basic Food Employment and Training Program, which is for those that are on food stamps. And then we also have representatives from the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Grant Act, or WIOA. And just to clarify, the colleges that are here today are not the only colleges that have worker retraining. The worker retraining grant is available at all community and technical colleges in the state of Washington. There are 34 community and technical colleges. So if you find yourself not being located near any of the colleges that are here today, that's okay. The information that you'll gain is still really, really important. And like I said, worker retraining at each school is going to look a little bit different, but not too different. So we hope that you'll gain some good information. So we'll go ahead and jump right into the worker retraining presentation. Like I said, this is really general worker retraining, but it's still really great information. And so we'll obviously start with, I think, the most important question: what is the worker retraining program, right? So it's a state-funded program that provides educational funding for laid off and dislocated workers who may want to upgrade current skills or retrain for a new career. And I really like how educational funding is underlined, because that's where the kind of difference in funding does change from school to school. Some colleges just offer tuition support, some offer additional funding. So that's why it's really important to kind of get that college specific information as well. And like I shared, the funding is available at all community and technical colleges, and it may include tuition, books, and fees. So we really try to create this funding that's really encompassing of the educational experience, which I think is really great. The training options are certificates, 2-year associates of applied science, GED, high school completion programs, and English as a second language programs, or ESL. All job training certificates and degrees vary in length from 1 quarter to 2 years. So I think all the college representatives here understand that for some people, 2 years is a really big commitment. If you're maybe near the end of your career, if you're just beginning your career, 2 years is a lot of commitment, but that's where it's really cool, where certificates are also funded by these grants as well. And so if you find yourself needing to maybe just upgrade your skills to stay current in your current field, that can be totally accommodated. Or if you're someone that says, you know what, I'm ready to retrain, I want to upgrade into a new field, that's also accommodated as well. So it's really, as you can tell, the availability for funding, the availability for support is definitely there. So who is eligible for worker retraining? I would say the largest population that is probably served by worker retraining is currently receiving or eligible to receive unemployment benefits. So many of you in today's event may fall under that criteria. We can also support those that have exhausted their unemployment benefits in the last 4 years. I know that at Cascadia, that's who I'm with. If you missed that information, we do ask for documentation of the unemployment, but because a lot of the individuals that are supported are on unemployment, they have very easy access to that information. Also, those that were formerly self-employed and businesses no longer viable. Your spouse may be eligible if unemployed or underemployed after having been dependent on another family member's income, but no longer supported by the income due to separation, divorce, death, or permanent disability of the main wage earner. So like, for example, beyond the divorce, separation, those things are pretty cut and dry. It also could be maybe you're providing paid services to family members and that family member no longer needs that support. You could also get funding through this grant as well. Also recently discharged veterans or received a discharge status. So for any veterans in the room, like your DD 214 within the last 48 months or 4 years. And I think that really, and it can work coinciding with your other funding offered by like the VA and like direct veteran benefits. And then also vulnerable workers, so at risk of being unemployed and meets 2 of the following criteria. So your job is not in demand, and that's according to a certain list, which is on the slide. And then you do not have more than 45 college credits, as well as you must upgrade your skills to remain employed at your current job. So that's where I kind of said those certificates could come in handy if you do find yourself in a job but needing to kind of upgrade to stay current. So what kind of assistance does worker retraining provide? Immediate and ongoing financial assistance. So like I said, the worker retraining grant looks different at each school, but I think each school staff is equipped to kind of have those discussions of, okay, what do we do about funding after this has exhausted, whatever that quarter amount looks like. Educational advising and planning, right? So planning on what does your funding look like, but what does your academic career look like? A lot of schools have things called educational plans, and it pretty much lays out, you'll take these classes, these quarters to graduate at this time, which I think as me as a student, I would really love that, to kind of have some peace of mind of, okay, I'm going to take these classes this quarter and this class this quarter, and really have it laid out right from the beginning, which I think is super, super awesome. Liaison to community agencies and social services. I like to tell the students that I support, like, you just gained a new team member and it's me. And so this person really acts as an on-campus support, not only for on-campus resources, but resources out in the community. What kind of resources do you need to be successful? We're here to support you with that. Assistance with forms such as the commissioner approved training and training benefits application. For those that were on a little bit earlier than the start time, I kind of talked about training benefits, commissioner approved training. I'll give more information about that in just a few slides. So I won't spoil it too much, and even though I want to really badly, but the college staff can assist with those forms, and both of them are really great programs that are offered by Employment Security Department and have no weight on your funding with the school. So I think that's really important to note. They are two separate programs. And then assistance in locating additional funding for college, right? Kind of like I shared, this funding only goes so far. So after this worker retraining funding is exhausted, where do we go from there? So what kind of funding is available, right? So workforce education, it offers a variety of programs that can assist with funding if you qualify. And that's where the college rooms will really be beneficial, because there is other grants through workforce education, worker retraining being one of them. There's one that's for those on food stamps. There's one that's for those on TANF. And there's one that's for those that are within a certain income threshold for their family size. And each school will be able to go over what that looks like for them. There's also WIOA, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. We do have representatives from WIOA today. So WIOA is a federally funded program that can also help with tuition support, and worker retraining and WIOA can go not hand in hand at the same time. I guess maybe just a hand in a hand, right? Kind of like a relay team, worker retraining WIOA, or WIOA and then worker retraining. So they really work well together to really get the student to where they want to go educationally. There's also just good old fashioned FAFSA, right? Financial aid for those that are eligible. If you do have any questions about financial aid, definitely ask the college staff about that. They'll hopefully know a little bit, and if not, maybe definitely refer you to the school's financial aid office. And then CARES Act, Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security. Definitely something that is newer, but can also support education as well. So here we go. I don't have to spoil it anymore. Commissioner approved training and training benefits. So Commissioner approved training, or CAT, and training benefits, TB. A lot of acronyms, I know. But CAT approval allows you to have permission from Employment Security Department to attend school and waive the job search requirements. So hopefully everyone knows, if you are on UI currently, the job search requirements have been reinstated. So you should be doing your 3 job search activities a week. With Commissioner approved training, it takes you out of those job search requirements so you can really focus on school. And training benefits may provide additional 26 weeks of unemployment insurance while in school, as well as taking you out of the job search requirements. And the nice thing is, when you apply for training benefits, it also checks eligibility for Commissioner approved training as well. So it's really nice where it's one application for training benefits and you get checked for eligibility for both. And you either get approved for training benefits or you get approved for CAT. Being approved for both doesn't do much, just because training benefits does include that job search requirement being waived, as well as the potential of 26 weeks of unemployment. And I will say this is the best way that it was explained to me. And I said this to the group earlier as well. But right now, in Employment Security Department's eyes, your job title is job seeker, right? Because you're doing your job search activities. When approved for training benefits or even Commissioner approved training, your job title changes to student. So they know that you're in school to get a high demand job, hopefully. And I will repeat this again. The decision on CAT and TB have no effect on the funding with the school. So let's say you get denied for training benefits or denied for CAT. That's obviously not like okay, but it won't affect your funding with work retraining or the other grants that you could be eligible for. There also is an appeal process that can be gone through as well. And it's really great because the worker retraining specialist at the colleges will most likely be able to help you with the commissioner approved training and training benefits application. So let's say after this event, you talk to your 2 colleges or 2 community resources, but you want to talk to another college. Maybe there was one you didn't realize was going to be here. So a great way to go about speaking with a college is to sign up for an online orientation through Start Next Quarter. So you can go to startnextquarter.org and you can take a little survey. And it's, as it says on the screen in small print, it's short, free, and anonymous. And then what happens is that information is sent to the school, and then it's on the school to reach out to you to schedule their orientation. I know that some schools have group orientations, some schools do one-on-one orientation, so it just kind of depends on how that school functions. So that is it for my presentation. I think we're doing well on time. I think we have a few minutes for questions. I know it seems like the chat is really blowing up. So I'm going to go ahead actually and stop sharing my screen so I can help answer questions as well, if that works for everyone. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing. Yay. And then if people have questions, like I said, I can hopefully help answer some questions. The first college session will start at 1:30. So if you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and take a break and join as close to 1:30 as possible, just because the college representatives for some schools are here in this room currently. We can't be in 2 Zoom rooms at one time, Zoom meetings. So yeah. I see the question about, is it possible to work part-time while receiving commissioner approved training? I believe that is fine. Yes.
I also wanted to share, I've seen it a couple of times in the chat and the Q&A about whether or not today's event counts as a job search activity. I'm happy to share that this is a WorkSource sponsored event, and this will count as a job search activity. If you did not receive a confirmation email from us, I would ask that you please respond to the email that was on the flyer, which is connect. And I'm going to ask Russell to type this in the chat. But if you can send us an email with your information, we can make sure that we get a confirmation on that. According to the Employment Security Department guidelines for this to count, you have to keep track of some information and documentation. So we're happy to support you on that.
And is there a way to get the link in the chat for where people can access the schoolrooms? I think that would be beneficial as well. I do see a question about that. And Nancy, to answer your question, if you go to the college rooms, they'll talk about what programs are eligible. If not, and I can do it as well. There's a really great site called like the SBCTC, State Board for Community and Technical Colleges, just more acronyms. College search, and it will show you the programs that each school in the state has. I will find that link right now, and I'll post it in the chat.
And I see lots of great conversations going on with chat. I'm going to ask everyone to actually switch over to the Q&A feature, just because then we can be able to respond to them in an effective way. There was also a question about a copy of the PowerPoint from Katie's presentation. We will be sending out a copy of that PowerPoint as well as a link to today's recorded session.
And Patricia, I see your question about other programs for older individuals. Absolutely. I think any of the academic programs are for any type of student. If you are, I shared it a little bit earlier in the program. I think it's really understandable to think I'm an older worker, or I'm near maybe retirement. 2 years, like you don't really maybe have that time. It doesn't align with your work goals. That's where those short-term certificates, those certificates that are still funded, can really come into action and really be beneficial. And I did put in the chat the SBCTC college search, so you can see what kind of programs are available at other community and technical colleges or the colleges that are here today. If you are interested in talking to another college that you do not have the ability to speak with today, Start Next Quarter is a really great resource to use, so you can get in contact with the school, and the school can talk with you. The slides will be sent out. And to answer the question, it does count as a job search activity if you have a confirmation email. So the first college room will start in 6 minutes. So also, I guess, a little extra break right here if you are wanting one.
Katie, really quick, we've got a couple of people asking about getting a confirmation email if they haven't received one. That should just be the link that got them to this session in email form. If they got it through the web page, where can they reach out to get a email confirmation if they need that for reporting purposes?
It's going to come from, if you registered for today's event, if you're one of the 897 individuals that registered for today's event, you will receive a follow-up email that will confirm that you registered, as well as a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, some great contacts for all the colleges that are participating today, as well as a link to the YouTube recording of today's session. So I know that we have a lot of information that's happening, or maybe you joined, at this point where the presentation's over, but having all that resources can help you then, get in touch with someone. But that information, that confirmation email, can be used as your job search activity. If you happen to be one of the folks who came in this morning after registration closed and did not receive a confirmation email from us, or if you had a friend that shared this link with you, please send an email to connect, and that's CONNECT. So that's connect@shoreline.edu. I'm going to go ahead and type that in the chat as well.
I believe to answer the question about where the reporting will be, I believe it will be sent with the slide deck after today's event. And I see a nod. Yes. Okay. Casey, to answer your question, I believe you would be eligible under, it's called displaced, no, is it? Gosh, sorry, displaced homemaker. And so because you're going through a divorce, depending on your situation, you could be eligible. I would definitely talk with the specific college you want to attend, and they can talk you through that process. But it's definitely not a no. To answer the question about, is there a deadline for training benefits? You have to apply within your benefit year, and I would say that, like, their ideal candidate, that's the way I like to put it, applies within 90 days of being on unemployment. And if you do apply past that 90 days, it's really great to kind of write an attestation or a statement saying, this is why I applied late, and your college staff will be able to work with you on that. Tessie, to answer your question, Cascadia does have an environmental program. So feel free to come to the Cascadia room if you want to learn a little bit more.
And then with that being said, it's 1:27. If you want to go ahead, Katie, and or any of the other college folks want to go ahead and step out, as well as you, Marvin, to open up your Zoom meeting, please go ahead. I am going to remain in this room and to help answer any general questions and also help navigate. I'm going to drop in the chat the link to the resource page. I know it's kind of been covered up a couple of different times because we have a lot of great conversations going on, but I just dropped the link in the chat. I'm going to ask you to click on that link. It should open up a new browser. And then it acts as a virtual agenda, but there's links in there to link you to different colleges and different resources. And I would want you to know that when you click on that link, it will ask you the question, do you want to leave the Zoom meeting? And you want to say yes, because you want to leave this meeting to join the next meeting. And I'll drop it again in the chat just in case it gets covered up. Russell, Caleb, are you guys going to hang out here to help support, or were you all going to take off to the other rooms?
Yeah, I'm attempting to help get through the questions, and then I'll be
Thank
popping
you.
over to the Everett room.
Awesome. Thank you.
I was just addressing the questions as well, and then I better go help figure out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
We do have 2 hands up in the.
If you have your hands up, I'm going to ask that you use the Q&A feature to please drop your questions. And then that would be the best way for us to kind of get back to you as we work through this. And there's a question about using the link to apply for CAT TV. CAT TV, that is an application process that starts with Employment Security Department. So you will have to work with either your local work source, or if you're already thinking about going to a community college and you have one in mind, your worker retraining specialist can help you get started on that. The link that I'm dropping is to see what resources and what colleges are here. So you can click on that link to see who's participating and connect with them. So I see a question about Edmonds College. If you go to the page, there is a link, but I'll go ahead and copy Edmonds information here in the chat. So that is the link for Edmonds Community College. And I think that question came from Benjamin. This is, so session 1 is we're in session 1 currently right now. So you can go ahead and connect with different colleges, or if you're interested in applying for basic food benefits, we also have the a basic food benefit room. Looks like there's a question for the Everett Community College room. I'll go ahead and drop the Everett room. Daryl, it's in the chat. Renton Tech is also on there, so let me go ahead and drop that. If possible, Russell, can you hang on? I know I have Courtney set up in that room as well.
What's up?
If possible, can you hang on in this room? I
Yeah,
have Courtney to support.
Okay, yeah, I'm still trying to get through the questions.
Okay.
So I'm working, I'm hanging out.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like there's a lot of asks for different rooms. I'm going to drop the link to the resource page rather than kind of send them off one by one by one. I'm going to direct you to click on that link to find the Zoom link for your room. There's a question about persons trainings for CompTIA. CompTIA is not a program that is covered by worker retraining, but it might be covered under WIOA, and that's WIOA. WIOA is a participating partner today. So I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look at the resource page that I just dropped in the link in the chat, and connect with the WIOA representative. There was also a question from Omar on Everett Community College. Omar, I dropped the link in the chat. Please click on that link, and then you can follow that link to Everett Community College. Resource room link only has one Zoom. So the resource room link, you need to scroll down. If you, at the very top of the page, it includes the Zoom meeting, and then it has the event agenda. And actually, let me go ahead and share my screen. That might be helpful. Okay, so the link that I am dropping in the chat, which I'll drop now, so for folks to follow along with me, let's see, everyone. That's the chat. that's the resource link I dropped in the chat. It's going to land you on this page. This is the link right here. This is the meeting you're in right now. You want to scroll down and then you'll find all the colleges. So you'll find that there's a Zoom link for each college that's participating. So you can click on it. And when you click on it, you might have something that pops up that says, are you sure you want to leave this Zoom meeting? And you want to say yes. Caleb, it looks like the Zoom link is not active for Everett. Okay, so we'll see what we can do on that. But this is the page you want to go to. So I'm going to drop this again, the link to this here. Steve, I see what your comment about Everett. I'm going to reach out to them and see what we can do. If you go to that link I just dropped in the chat, that will take, and then you can click on Lake Washington Tech from here. It's a link. Highline College is not listed on this resource page, but I believe they are participating. They might have someone still in the here that can provide some information. So Renton prompted you for a passcode, but I don't see one. Bellevue, Laurel, if you go to this page, you can click on Bellevue and go directly. Is Evergreen or Grays Harbor available? Evergreen and Grays Harbor is not participating today, Bob, but if we can still get you some information based on general information to help you. Okay, no, are you guys possibly hosting a Zoom that we can share for Green River? Because there is, I think there's been, or sorry, for Highline, I believe there's been some asks around that. South Seattle is not participating today, but what you can do is reach out directly to South Seattle and ask for their worker retraining specialists, and they can help you get connected to resources. And Patricia, I'm not too sure about your question. What room for older education certificate? I'm not too sure what that is. Great question. Yes, if you are uncertain, there will be an email following this event that will include some general information on where to start. But what I can do is I can send you in the chat some information that connects to different colleges, and you can kind of go, you can search for a college based on your area of interest or by your location. So this website is from the State Board of Community and Technical Colleges, and you can click on that link that just dropped in the chat, and you can search by location, by college, by categories, areas of interest. Looks like Highline College, for folks who are interested in Highline College, there was an email that was just included in the chat, so I encourage you to take a look at that. Well, Kenneth, if you're in Renton, we do have Renton Technical College here. Let's see. And they might be right up the hill from you, or actually they might be on that same hill that you're on, not too far from Benson Hill. But I'll go ahead and drop a link to Zoom, their Zoom room. I will also say that it also depends on what area of study you would like to go in, because not every community college has the same program. So that might be an option. I'm going to go ahead and actually stop recording.